In the insane age of the coronavirus, lodgings have been esteemed basic. In any case, that doesn't guarantee going great for lodging organizations or their workers. Albeit numerous fundamental administrations have seen a spike sought after. Inns haven't took an interest in the flood as the travel industry is at a halt everywhere throughout the world. Many inns would prefer not to manage increments in joblessness protection. So they are attempting first to cut the hours of their representatives before laying individuals off. However, greater lodgings are regularly faring so inadequately, because of a prophetically catastrophic misfortune in inhabitants, that they must choose the option to lay off workers. A few foundations close to Disney World are furloughing individuals left and right on the grounds that the end of the recreation center has left some 1,000 room inns at just 1% inhabitants. At that rate, they can barely bear to keep the lights on, significantly less keep on paying all their employees. As for Las Vegas, many retreat lodgings have closed down on the grounds that a gigantic measure of their cash originates from the gambling club business. This requires bigger social occasions of individuals to be fruitful. More than anything, they are fundamentally gaming spaces with an inn appended. Without gaming resorts, there is no reason for remaining open. In any event, one lodging up until now, Red Roof Inn, is offering a weekday exceptional from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. to utilize their lodgings as a home office space. This offer is quite modest, running at somewhat under $30 every day for your brief office space. They even permit one other individual and one pet. Now this is half off most daily rates for that sort of lodging. Yet they're presumably not offering full civilities. Apparently, they don't anticipate that the visitor should utilize the bed or the shower. No morning meal, either. However, this is still very cheap. The individuals who are scanning for home office space should investigate this or different lodgings that may before long offer comparative arrangements to escape from everything and have your own workspace for $30 daily is genuinely modest. Particularly if the children are home because of isolate and you can't focus sufficiently long to complete your work. When the quantity of COVID-19 cases raised strongly, social affairs began to be restricted and lodgings more than once got the most exceedingly awful sort of calls, scratch-offs. For the initial half a month of the COVID-19 episode, the telephones were ringing free at my inn. That was additionally valid at numerous other establishments. Everyone was getting retraction calls for remains that ran from just a couple of days ahead of time to those in pre-fall. Inhabitants dropped like a stone for the time being. The directors and proprietors of numerous inns are currently panicked that, best case scenario, they will earn back the original investment for the year. Be that as it may, that is the blushing case and far-fetched to happen. Many inn workers are marginally damaged now. Some have arrived at a state of exhausted renunciation, realizing that most residual calls will even now be abrogations. We're all simply trusting that our inns don't need to close for all time and that we don't need to search for new jobs. There is likewise the concern of having your hours cut. In spite of the fact that the U.S. Congress passed an upgrade bundle to help with joblessness benefits during the coronavirus pandemic, it can even now be hard to apply for and get the cash in a convenient manner. What do you do while you're pausing? Not very many spots are procuring, particularly low-maintenance laborers. As we've referenced, lodging costs have cratered. Thus, street pharmacists, whores, and other ne'er-do-wells see these absolute bottom costs as an incredible chance to utilize lodgings as the base of activities for their organizations. Numerous junkies who need a spot to crash during a high additionally enticed by the low prices, if this wasn't sufficient. Numerous urban communities are presently paying to set up vagrants in lodgings during the pandemic. They should remain inside, which is the general purpose. Notwithstanding, A significant number of these individuals are not self-isolating. Rather, they are getting into trouble. The issue stretches out past lodging the destitute. They, despite everything, need cash for nourishment, and some are attempting to score drugs. Others simply have side hustles. They need to set aside cash with the goal that they won't be destitute forever, although it is extraordinary to give the destitute a spot to isolate. They basically don't have the assets to simply remain inside lodgings for quite a long time. They absolutely don't have the interruptions accessible to them that the vast majority of us have. With the exception of TVs in their rooms to exacerbate the situation, numerous vagrants have psychological maladjustments. Simply giving them homes without giving the assist they with requiring may uncover or even reason bigger issues. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, lodging proprietors and representatives are apprehensive about the fate of inns. Numerous proprietors are persuaded that this financial year will be a finished wash. Hitting break-even is the new objective. In the event that they can even oversee it, to exacerbate the situation, nobody is certain how awful this will be for the lodging business in the long haul. Truly, a few lodgings and inns will consistently exist since individuals need a spot to remain. In any case, others take into account visitors who are visiting resorts and other attractions. After the finish of the pandemic, we may see a long-haul change in how individuals interface at occasions. In huge groups, and with different gatherings. The internet is such a useful asset, that we may see progressively virtual diversion come out of this. Potentially, just littler gatherings will be permitted to assemble, even in resort towns. Even if the law permits, things may never return to typical, if general perspectives change. This could be genuinely ruinous for the retreat lodging industry, as around 95 to 99% of their business would be for all time gone, just like each circumstance including the pandemic. We can just put forth a valiant effort as we stand by to perceive what will occur. The world may not change that much in the long haul. However, it's difficult to anticipate now, and the vulnerability can be startling.